One time for your mind, 2 times for the grind. Watch out.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Joe Waters, aka
It's Tremonte, 1/3 of the Wave Report. It's the second part. Episode.
Yeah, man. Listen.
I'm listening.
I got a funny feeling that I'm gonna be the only person that's gonna feel this way.
Go ahead. Probably.
Black Lives Matter was a failure. That entire campaign was a failure.
I need a drink.
Me too.
Nah, listen to me. One of these is mine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Black Lives Matter was a failure.
Uh-huh.
Here's why it was a failure. Does Mike Brown still matter to you right now? Does Trayvon Martin still matter to you right now? When's the last time you did something for Trayvon Martin? When's the last time you did something for Mike Brown? Can you name somebody outside of Tamir Rice that died when they were 14 years old? Can you? Can you name how many black people died in your city this year by police brutality? Black Lives Matter was a failure to me. The problem with Black Lives Matter was it created awareness. But you were aware when it was popular. That's just a social media campaign that I feel about. I feel like it was a business that garnered attention, garnered donations, but it was a business that didn't deliver for me. I feel like there are black businesses that let me down. I feel like there are black businesses that let me down. Black Lives Matter is just one for me. Do you have a black business that's let you down?
Yes, I do. Can I speak, please?
Please.
I'm ready for this.
Please. Spicy.
Okay, so as you know, I'm planning a wedding for next year, right?
Right.
And we were looking at this particular, I guess you can say she was a wedding planner.
She's a wedding planner.
Okay.
Wedding planner and decorator.
So,
We dropping names?
Yeah.
So that way
I don't remember her name, I'll be honest. If I did, then...
Insignificant.
She tried. Keep going.
Anyway, so I don't even remember it because it's like, how can I remember you if you over here giving me bad service and you're not being attentive enough?
What kind of service? What kind of bad service?
Like, okay, for an example, so when I first contacted her, it was just a whole confusion. Like, I was talking to her, trying to, like when I asked her a question, it was like this. Like, it wasn't straightforward. Yeah, and it was making me mad. Like, I'm just like, I didn't think it was this difficult to communicate with anybody.
Right.
I never had that issue. So I was like, let me give her a chance. Let me, meet up with her. Maybe the first time it was just she had a lot going on, whatever. I met up with her. We spoke. She gave us the price. So Patrick was like, well, before we put the deposit in, let's just, let her give us an invoice of the breakdown of what's going to be included. So before we sign the contract, it's no surprises. So we think one thing is included and it's really not.
Right.
That we just wanted the invoice. So I contact her. First of all, she takes forever to respond back. I understand you got kids.
Strike one.
But
$1,700
I
on
understand you got kids, but at the end of the day, like, it's your business. Like, this is your bread and butter. Like, you have to work. So I contacted her. She takes too long to respond. I tell her, can you please send us an invoice, the breakdown of everything before we put the deposit down.
Right.
She don't do it. She don't email me or anything. I gave her my email, everything. She's dragging her feet. So now I gotta go with somebody else that I was willing to give her the money because I love supporting black businesses. Like, I love it. But it's just some of us, I don't know. It's like they don't care. They have no pride. They just like, I'll get to it when I get to it.
But do you think that you would have had a different experience if it had been a white person, a white woman?
I'm sorry to say this, but yeah.
And the thing
And I don't,
Any
I'm
perspective from a black business owner?
Yes. So,
Can you tell us what's the name of your business and all of that? So
I'm sorry. I am an esthetician, full specialist, so I do nails, I do lashes, I do waxing, I do facials, I do all of that. The name of my business is Aesthetically Yours. I'm based out of Trinity, Florida. So, on this topic, the way I feel about a lot of us that come to black businesses is that we hold us to such a high standard and then a white business at a regular standard. So I can do something to you and you will raise a complete fuss. I mean, we're the worst customer service. We didn't do A, B, and C, but you go to this white business that's doing the exact same thing as me and you won't raise a fuss.
I mean, I do.
You just accept it. I'm not talking about you specifically. you just accept it?
That's true.
Well, I would say I don't know because I respect everyone, but I'm always that person that
Yeah, he is that person.
I'm that person. Hey,
He that customer. It
you
don't matter
mess
who you
up
are.
something, I'm gonna say something. If you get me angry or pissed me
Piss?
off, piss me off.
You can say that.
Needless to say,
Can't say yes.
you pissed.
I was so confused. What's
You piss me off, I'll be that person to
Say it
call
again.
corporate. You piss me off, I'm calling corporate because I need business to be done a certain way, and I'm going to hold everyone accountable. And back to what she was saying about the wedding planner and decorator, you need to be attentive. We agreed to write you this much of a check as money, and you agreed in person, word of mouth, that you would do this, this, and that. Now, what I do need is that on paper. If I say, hey, we'll give you about this time, maybe a week, maybe 72 hours, write that on paper. You don't answer, you have all these excuses. Do you want the money or not? I'm going to hold everybody accountable. If you're offering us a service, put it on paper.
Even if she would communicate and would have said, "Oh, I've been busy with the kids, you know, but I'm, you know,
That's not your problem.
See, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Put it on paper. Let us look at it. Let us choose. That's the service we need. Don't take your time because we are paying you for your time. We are paying you more than the average person. This is our priority. This is what we need done. Make time for it. You'll use that money to eventually take care of your kids and your personal business at home. Get it done.
The only thing I wanna say is if that's the case, like you do, hold everybody at that same standard.
I
Yeah, he
will.
does.
All I ask from any consumer, hold every single business at that same standard that you do.
See, what I learned from black businesses, can black people do good business? Yes, they can. I've
Possible.
seen it happen before. Most of the time, no. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not somebody who sit up there and lie. Black people don't know much about punctuality. And a lot of times, as a consumer, or as somebody who owns a business like Adriana, a lot of y'all niggas want shit for free.
Woo!
Y'all better pay, man.
Yes,
Y'all go to the liquor store, you order off Amazon. Jeff is white.
Okay.
He white.
That's true. That's true.
Oh,
But
you
you-
should
but-
have said that.
That is
It's
so true.
different. It is
What?
I mean, that's, if we don't know any better, like we've had this conversation before. We didn't come from families who taught us about credit. We had to learn
That's
that
very
on our,
true.
we had to learn that on our own.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, and I'm not saying this in any type of racial way, but Jewish people raise their children a certain way.
That's exactly
Yeah.
They teach them business, they teach them credit, they teach them all of these things. So in our culture, we come from the hood. That's
Yeah.
not what we're
I feel
taught.
like black people
So we have to
have
learn
never had a
these things on
chance.
our own.
But I do
Niggas.
think,
We didn't have
I
a
do
chance.
think, but I do think as an adult, most of us here, all of us here are very intelligent people. We should hold ourselves to a standard to where we set the example.
Right.
Now, is it like most black people I know, they want stuff for free or for half price?
Yes.
Like if somebody asks Joe for a verse, you got to pay him the full verse. You don't get a good verse, you have to pay him.
Yeah.
But black people, like if I went to her thing, if she didn't know me, oh well, I'm taking my wife, can I get a discount? Why can't I pay her full price? I pay somebody else full price.
Yeah.
So you're right about like the educational aspect. A lot of us weren't educated growing up, especially on credit. That's a whole other topic. Not a whole
I mean,
but
the way I feel about it is, if you own a business, set an expectation. If you go to a business, require an expectation. A lot of times, the majority of times, somebody says, I got you, it's gonna be done, we're gonna knock it out, with zero expectation. I've learned this one little phrase for therapy. I make shirts. If you need shirts, you can holler at me. You know what I mean? I give everybody an expectation of 7 to 10 days. There's a reason why I do that. If you pay me for something, even if you're local, you assume that I can get to it immediately. If you hit her up and say, hey, I wanna get the, you know what I mean? I wanna get the little wax. I mean, you may assume she could. Let's say you hit her on a Friday. You don't know that could be her busiest day. But I need to get into your shop immediately. She says no. See, I'm trying to support black. You can't be that person. You have to understand expectations, set expectations, and require them. So if you own a business, set an expectation. If you're looking to support a black business, require an expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way you're gonna not choose Jeff. Jeff literally has conditioned you on an expectation. You know why? I can say Amazon Prime right now, everybody will say 2-day shipping.
Yeah. Or same day.
Most people have, it's an expectation that's built in within the business.
Yeah.
So you just gotta set an expectation with what you do.
See, but it's the thing, when black people set the expectation, sometimes they don't abide by the expectation they set.
Bingo.
And
So
then,
like, yeah, I got you for here. Yeah, go ahead.
and then if there's an error, they don't accommodate. That's the biggest issue.
I know when Sharon was here, he said he ordered some shirts from a black business, he got the wrong size, but he sent his money back.
See?
Why did you take it from a different
You order
size?
shirts from me,
Exchange.
you get the right size.
Yeah.
If you get the wrong size, you get a, see, here's how I do mine. So if you order something with me and I give you the wrong size, I'm giving you 2 items. I'm giving you 2 items instead of the one that you paid for. So and sometimes I'll even give somebody a partial refund because they expected it. I don't know what I messed up by messing up that order. So a lot of times if you over exaggerate your error, it helps you create a good customer experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
What happens, let's say for your cell phone company, oh man, I ain't have no phone for 3 days out of this month. We'll put a credit on there. We'll give you 3 days credit. You know what? We're gonna give you a whole week's worth of credit. Now you feel like you feel valued as a customer. So a lot of times what people do is they say, oh, I messed up? All right, I'm gonna just send you what I was supposed to send you.
Do y'all feel that when you're wronged by a black business that you should air them out publicly?
No.
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 Nah.
I see that shit a lot. Do you feel like you should make a post letting everybody know that they're a bad business?
No.
That's bad
Leave it
publicity,
alone.
man.
Or like
And
she
you
said,
should go to them privately.
We
yeah,
are-
like she said, keep it at the same standard. So like, if that black business did you wrong, you air out that black business. When Amazon sends you something from like Japan that's 3 sizes too small, air them out as well. Like,
Right,
keep
hold the same
it
standard.
neutral.
Yeah,
But
that's
what I will say is, because I'm in the beauty industry, so sometimes that air out needs to happen. And the reason being is a lot of people their bad business on the consumer end and on the business end.
Mhm.
So I don't know if y'all ever heard of a group, it's called Tampa Talent.
I heard it.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of
Oh
people
yeah, they be
put
in the mall.
they're advertising for hair, nails, whatever it is, and people will go on there looking for certain services. They post in the comments like, this is my specialty, what I can do. So on so many occasions, I've seen where they will air that person out. And it's being because they didn't get what they were supposed to be getting, so they want their money back. The person airs them, will block them. Will do all these certain things. People don't know unless somebody says something. And it's gotten to the point where people will do this to multiple folks. So that's why I feel like in certain situations, it needs to be aired. Somebody needs to know, like, don't go to this person, because if you do, you know what I'm saying, she's not gonna give you the style that you want, and you're not getting your money back because she's gonna block you.
Let me be very fair in my response to that. I literally have had vacations booked by somebody, and we don't go to a certain hotel if the reviews on that hotel aren't great.
Yeah.
So I thoroughly agree with you, because as much as there's some hotels in Vegas I wanted to stay at.
It's not just about the reviews though.
But a lot of times the reviews play a great part. There's people who will go on YouTube. Let's say it's an experience. Let's say it's a cruise. There's people that will go on YouTube and document their entire cruise, and then people will watch it and be like, I think I like that. I want to choose that. Or they'll look at it and be like, hell no. So document your experience. I do agree with that. But there's also places where you could leave that. So like if somebody told me a week ago, and I'm new to a black business. Somebody told me, yo, do you have a Yelp page? I'm an e-commerce.
Okay.
I'm an e-commerce. I'm an e-commerce business. So I don't have a storefront. Like, no, set up a Yelp page. If somebody buys something from you, have them go to your Yelp page and let that be, because you can't delete stuff off of Yelp. You can't hide stuff off of Yelp. You can direct every single person that works with your business to Yelp to leave an experience. And if everybody leaves a great one, cool, that actually works for you. But if let's say a few people leave you a negative one, if you as a black business don't take that as an opportunity to be better, that's on the business itself, and people will see that and they'll start to stray away from it. Don't stay at the Motel 6 on such and such boulevard because they got bed bugs.
Don't
I've
stay
seen
in
that.
Motel 6.
Hey, don't disrespect the Motel.
If it starts with an M,
Motel 6. They are still the best trap
Mo
hotel.
nothing. Mo nothing.
I'm not that type of person. I will talk to you in private. I don't like doing the whole social media thing in the first place, so I don't believe in airing people out. But I do think constructive criticism is always a good thing. So if I talk to you one-on-one, like, hey man, listen, man, look, you got me a little bit because I'm gonna be nice about it, but the next guy might not be.
Yeah.
So
Like me.
right. So I don't believe in airing people out. I've never been about that because at the end of the day, I do wrong too. You know?
Yeah.
And I have an organization as well, so I wouldn't want you to, if we made one honest mistake, I wouldn't want you to blast us and destroy our whole reputation.
Yeah.
So anyway, as black, even as black, we already have a damn reputation from the jump.
Exactly.
You know, so if we start throwing bricks at us for every little thing, it's hard. You know what I mean? White businesses, they don't have to face that. Why? Because just because it's white, it's already like, oh, they're pretty good off the rip, even if they didn't do anything right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so with us, we gotta help each other out. Criticism is good. It's good for that.
What about the ones that don't want to take criticism?
We gotta shut down shop.
Because that's-
Shut it down.
There's a lot of them out there that will not take that criticism.
That's pride of ego, and that's another thing that we
They
do with
exist.
as black culture.
Nope, there's a story there. I need to know.
It's not really a story.
Oh.
Go ahead, Sharice.
Have you, let me ask you, has there been a chain, and it don't even have to be a black business, but what is the worst customer service experience that you've ever had? Like, let's say, I'll give mine. I was at a Foot Locker, it was on a Jordan release day, and a father was trying to get some Jordans, he was waiting in line, and he had his baby with him, and his baby decided that, well, there's a bathroom in my pants, and decided to, do what they needed to do. So I'm in line, I'm smelling it, he's smelling it, he know I'm smelling it, and it's like, come on, bro, you can come back. You know what I mean? And then we're like 10 minutes before the shoe store opens, and then his baby decides, let me double up. Busted the diaper. The dad knows it's happening, it's falling, and
It's falling.
yeah. And Foot Locker sees this, and they're still like, that's cool. Let me just gotta let you come on into the store. Dude goes in the store, buys his shoes. I walk into a store, whole store smells like doo-doo. That's an opportunity. It's an opportunity we could have avoided all
So
of that.
he really wanted the shoes.
He really wanted the
But
shoes.
that's not Foot Locker's fault.
No.
Yes,
Was
it
that
is.
in New York?
No, it's not.
Baby, yo, if I'm Foot Locker, I'll keep your place online.
Standards.
Please go change your kids so don't make my store smell like this.
Yeah, but if you don't have kids, and if you don't have kids, if you don't think
And that's one of those situations where it can blow up either way.
And he should have, I would have popped the squat right in the middle of that line and changed my child.
Yeah.
see, that's a mom's thinking. Exactly.
I would
The Foot Locker 17-year-old employees are.
I'm definitely that dude. I'll change my son anywhere.
Yeah.
When my son was a kid, baby, I would change him anywhere. But I don't need to buy shoes that bad. They weren't even like the OG Jordans. Like they were just.
Was that New York?
Nah, that was in Tampa.
Oh.
That was West Shore Mall.
I always want to name them all.
See, I don't like dealing with. I haven't had. It's probably a restaurant. Probably my worst customer. I can't remember. Me and my wife probably somewhere. She impatient, so you don't have it on time and right. Like if you're a server and you leave for like 30 minutes, she gonna pay.
30 minutes.
That's a long time.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I have to admit, I have a
I'm
confession.
gone.
That was a trick question. The reason why it was a trick question is because we are all customers of a certain nation, and I wanted to know how did y'all feel our president, Donald Trump.
How you feel?
That was good politics.
Oh, we're not talking about politics?
It's just shit.
No, we're not.
Man, fuck him. I talk about it.
I was just gonna say. No. What I was gonna say was basically all I was gonna say was if you were a customer of America, what would be the review you would leave on your country? That's all I'm asking.
On the country as a whole.
On the country, on the state of your country.
I got it right here.
Oh, keep your kisses.
I would give, as currently constructed, I would give the country a D-.
You have to think about it from perspective. You have to think about it.
If somebody went to Yelp and said, "I want to go to America," boom, they look at your review. What are you saying?
But you have to think about it from perspective, right?
D-.
So we always talk about our is luxury to people in third world.
That's right.
Right?
True.
These people live
That's
off of
true.
these people live off of $10 a month, legit $10 a month.
Cuba's
Me
pretty
too,
bad.
I was a
And
kid.
it's like you
You know,
anyway.
No, it's true.
$10
Like,
a
It's
month,
like
right? So
20
they
packs
say,
of
"Oh, I
noodles.
can't wait to get to America. I can't wait to get to America. It's so great. I can have religious freedom. I can have all these things, right?" So I think it's perspective. If we're from here, we're spoiled, right? We have a little bit of entitled attitude occasionally, right?
yeah.
And these other people that come here, they're like, "Oh my God, this is so great, so great, so great." So it's to me, it's
there's
perspective.
people that
I
have a
don't really
worse
It
feel
is.
that we're
Yeah.
spoiled in America though.
I-
Like
What?
liberty wise, yes,
Mhm.
but this is all we know. So it's the outside experience that changes you. It's like all the Instagram people who want to go to Dubai but don't know what it takes to get to go to Dubai and like the rules and regulations of the law
Women
there,
can't.
like the fact that women can't go
But that's
out
what I'm
without
saying.
men at certain
Right.
times and things like that. Like you don't know what you're signing up for when you leave America.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
But that's why I said it's a very like almost an elitist type of attitude. Like, oh, well,
Right.
even like because I work in the travel industry, so I have these conversations with people, and they're like, "Oh, well, I went to them, they didn't speak English." Well, you're not in America.
You're not in America.
So it's like, what was your
What were you-
expectation? Like,
I
That's
think,
not a standard
Like,
language.
exactly.
It is not
I
taught.
think-
They're in
There's
someone else's
I
land.
think
Yeah,
as a country, people come over here with the expectation that they're going to be free, and they learn really quick that
That
that's
they
not
are
how it
not.
is.
right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I only say that because I always tell people this, because I've seen on the side of the world. America is the greatest marketing firm of all time.
Mhm.
Because we market ourselves as something that we're really not. Homeowners free, homeowners bread.
Mhm.
But
Ooh, yes.
you really come into other people's homes, other people's country, you won't have any kind of war down here. Nah, we're gonna keep everything nice and pretty over here. We gotta show the rest of the world where you need to be at.
Mhm.
Then we'll come to your house and wreck everything.
Imperialism.
You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
And halfway paid for
and
it.
then we talk about this
I know.
freedom stuff, because when I go to Haiti, it was like, oh, take me. I'm like, bro, I come over here because I need to be free. You understand? Like, y'all understand what y'all know what I just escaped.
Right.
I enjoy your peace and happiness, because even in the midst of everything that you're going through right now, you can still smile genuinely. I walk through a hallway with anybody, and they give me this fake smile. You know, I can't even get genuine people.
I went to Haiti a year ago. I've never regretted having a haircut more than I ever did there. Reason being, had a conversation with a guy and literally found out that a $5 bill that I gave him made his week.
Right?
Like $5 for a little hand spoon type of little joint that I bought at a little. It didn't even make it off the cruise ship. It was gone. That $5 made his whole week. And like I'm literally sitting here I'm looking at him and I'm looking at everybody. Not one person had a haircut. Not everybody is just rough. They're just rough. And I'm just sitting there like, man, I paid $30 for this cut, and this $30 could have fed probably this entire area. Like I literally regretted being there. Like, oh, I'm just here on a lavish vacation, and they're like, it's 100 people in one little square trying to sell you something, and they're trying to eat. They're literally trying to eat.
But think about it too when we drove through Jamaica, and these people are legit
Yes.
living in shacks, right?
Yeah.
They don't show you that on TV. There's all you see
Yeah.
sandals.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're going like to real
The
Jamaica.
part
And it's
that
like
shocked me
no.
the most about Jamaica is that you had to pay to get onto the beach.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, there was a beach that we visited, and like you and the citizens of Jamaica literally had to pay to get onto the beach.
That's wild.
Wow.
That was insane to me.
Yeah.
Well, the life out there is a hustle. Everything's a hustle. Nothing's given.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and that's why it's so funny when I see people come over here and they take things for granted. It's literally the smallest things we take for granted here mean so much. You're talking about $5. You're talking about a haircut.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Simple things like when we leave lights on.
Yeah.
Some places people don't have that.
Or even like water, like clean water. You just turn your faucet on, right?
Just like
You don't have to
home.
walk 3-4 miles and get it out of some dirty ass river.
Get a
Like you know what I mean? Like
That's
you
Yeah.
try to
true.
filter it
Flint.
and like all these
Yeah.
things, you know.
Flint still don't got clean water. So.
It's in America they make you a lot of
Makes it
Damn.
real.
the people who think America is really, no pun intended, really great are people. Most of the time they're people who have a lot of money.
Yeah.
The average civilian is not going to tell you it's that great because it seems like you're going uphill
Perspective.
battle.
Yeah.
Like she said, it is about perspective. If you never had anything, you come from little to nothing. You're like, well, I made 50,000 this year. You think that's like the world, but there's people who make quadruple that, and they still like not satisfied. So I think freedom really comes from within, because if you, especially if you're black, you can never do enough. I think it's like no matter what you do, somebody will always say you're not doing enough or you should be doing more. But why? Who's to say? Well, like, how do y'all, I know we have to end this episode, but how do y'all define success to y'all individually?
To me, it's with the.
Well, real quick, we'll run around the table. Try to keep them like a minute. But we'll start. How do you define success?
Oh, great. I was just thinking about it in my head. Doesn't mean I have an answer. All right. Success doesn't always have to be you got what you wanted, but success is you have achieved something. You have, how do I say this? You are almost living the American dream. Doesn't mean you got what you wanted, but you have got life, breath, health, a career, healthy kids, healthy wife, yourself is healthy, and you are living, and you have happiness.
But
that's what I think.
Boom, go. How do you define success?
Me?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we spend
the whole American dream thing, I don't really like that whole concept of it, because my dream may not be yours. So I think it's all about like your individualities. Do you feel whole? Are you fulfilled in home, in love, family, work? Like, I think it's all in self. If you feel like you've arrived, you feel like this is what you were put on the earth to do, then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it stems where you have to have a wife and the kids and the white picket fence and the dog and the cat. What if you don't like dogs? If you don't like cats?
I don't.
Come on.
Then,
I don't like
you know what I mean?
I bet
So,
around some dog ass niggas too.
true.
All that.
I
But,
jump
like,
fences, I don't even.
It's whatever you want it to be. If you inside feel whole, I think you go.
Ward, go.
I agree with everything she just said. I mean, it's basically whatever makes you feel fulfilled and happy, the things that you get joy out of, the accomplishments that you, or the goals that you set out, and you accomplish them. Those are the things that bring me happiness, and what I see is the goal of life.
These are not your one-on-one questions, but audible. Boom. How would you bounce back from heartbreak?
Wow. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Ooh. Back from heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even done that yet. So like,
It's honest.
like I honestly like I really don't know how to do that. Like I haven't.
I help you.
That's a tough question.
So
I mean, I lean on my team. I lean on my circle. Like that's all that I know how to do right now.
Audible. If you could change one thing about America, what would it be?
The president.
Oh, I was gonna.
That's the reason why I asked.
President's not the source of
He's just a figure. He's not really.
If I could change one thing about America is gentrification, because that's really hurting us right now, especially as a
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
black businesses and black neighborhoods. I mean, in a couple of years, West Tampa will look different, East Tampa will look very different.
You're right.
It already looks
Starting, yeah.
South Tampa is literally not even a South Tampa anymore. It's becoming Tampa.
Seminole Heights isn't best. The
Okay.
Heights.
Yo, it's crazy. When I see white people moving into Sulphur Springs, I'm like,
Yes.
That's what I'm talking
Yes.
about. Yeah, for real.
Running with their dogs. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's-
Silver Springs?
Silver
Yes.
Springs.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
this is
Yeah, they
happening.
coming.
So if there's one thing I can change, because that's not national crisis. That's not just
You're right.
Tampa thing. So gentrification.
That's true. Yeah, New York is pretty bad.
Oh,
Real bad.
Brooklyn, Harlem,
Crazy.
all
Big
that.
different.
Mhm.
You're getting married soon. The night before your wedding, you're chilling with your girls.
Oh, yeah.
Does it matter what Patrick does the night before your wedding? Do you need to know?
If I don't know it, then it's different. If I know it,
Give them slush.
Don't invite me.
But what are you talking about? Hall pass?
I
Or you talking about, like,
I think that's what
Yeah,
he's trying to
Where are you going?
push me into
Luke,
that.
she's got it good.
I didn't say anything like that. But you
She's
did.
got it.
It's one thing if you don't know about it. It's like what you don't know won't hurt you. But if I know about it,
It will.
it will.
Like I said, I don't like Snapchats. I don't like strip clubs. So
Go to the videos.
Your Honor.
I don't like it, man. Go ahead and do something.
Quick. Let's see. Tremonte. You love your wife. We all know this. However, conflicts come between you and your wife. How do you resolve them?
That's a case of drink.
Take a sip from my cup.
I'm brutally honest. I believe the best way to rectify any situation is go directly to the source. So I just go to her and tell her how I feel. I used to be really harsh about it, which is not the best way to approach
You
your
were
wife.
very harsh.
Come on, man. Can I be honest? That's why people don't be vulnerable now. People like me don't.
Oh,
No, I used to be really harsh, and that don't work out too well. You have to come with compassion and understanding, and I had to realize this, that that's the person I married, so I love her for a reason. So to be too critical on her when I make mistakes as well is not fair. So I just go to her and tell her how I feel by telling her in a loving manner. And she's not always receptive. Every time you criticize somebody, I'm gonna be receptive, but I do encourage that I can help her. So I'm not just telling her, hey, you fix this, but we're going together. So that's how I handle the situation with my wife.
Adrian, if you found Mr. Right, perfect for you, had the money, I'm not saying that was a plus, but I'm saying he had all the money for you in the world, did everything you needed. You get into a relationship with him, y'all deep into a relationship. All flaws have been exposed and you're happy with the flaws you find. However, he is not great with your kids. Do you keep that relationship going?
Oh, shit. Oh,
Dang.
shit.
No, you gotta go.
Dang.
My kids will forever, you ain't.
What if they just got a problem with him
Actually.
specifically though? What if he's doing everything in his power to make it work, but they just don't
In
like
that
it?
situation, then we got some stuff we need to work out. Because if he's doing everything right by them and they just got an attitude towards
Right.
them, then we need to squash that, we need to figure out what the root of the problem is. But if it's just that he's horrible with he's horrible to my kid,
Right.
you got to go.
Lavio,
So,
what
Joe.
Hold on.
No,
Go ahead. This ain't the one-on-one questions, by the way.
What's one thing that Lala has told you over the years that it took you a long time to listen to and realize that she was correct in what she said?
When you were actually listening.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, man, I like her here. Now, I'm off.
Honesty is best.
So you're admitting that you were lying?
To have conversations and confront difficult honesty is still the greatest action that you can have. When it's difficult to say, when it's not easy to say, still say it because it's still the best. Yeah, that's a fact. Lavio.
Oh, yeah.
Why do people discredit the impact of anxiety on a person?
That shit is real.
Well, I can speak to this personally. I feel like you gave this question to me. That's fine. I think that people discredit. I can actually say this. Before I started dealing with anxiety, I discredited myself because I thought it wasn't real. I thought, oh, you're just being dramatic. Also growing up, I feel like in Black culture, we don't talk about our emotions and our feelings, right? We don't talk about therapy. We don't talk about all of these things. It's like, it's a very close, I don't want to say secretive, but it's a very what stays in your, or happens in your house stays in your house, right?
Right.
So, I didn't even, I don't think necessarily believe that anxiety was real. And so now, having anxiety, really bad anxiety, I think that I understand it from a different perspective, and I am empathetic to people who have anxiety now, and I understand it from a personal level. But I think people discredit, honestly, because of ignorance, because you don't understand it. I mean, I do it with anything in life, right? So unless it's close to home, unless you're dealing with it yourself, a lot of times you're not in tune with it.
Right.
It's just like, oh, well, this doesn't matter to me. I have a child with special needs now, so I'm more aware of that. Like, if you don't have that, it's not something you think about. So So I think it's the same thing with anxiety. Unless you are dealing with it on a daily basis or on some type of consistent basis, anything in your life, then you're not going to understand another person's perspective of what they're going through.
Thank you. Sarita, why should Spanish people, Dominican, Puerto Rican, anybody of Spanish descent be allowed to say the word nigga?
Well, like I said, okay, so I'm from New York. So growing up in Harlem, living in the Bronx, like Hispanic people and black people is one and the same. Like we all grew up together. So when I look at a Hispanic person, I don't see them as someone that's different from me. I see them as, okay, like they're the one and the same. You know, they ain't white. So I don't have a problem. And when they say it, it's not a double meaning to it. It's not like as if a white person was to say it. So to me, it's not an issue. Because being Hispanic isn't a race anyway, it's an ethnicity. So.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Piggybacking off of you, because I'm from Brooklyn. So moving here was the first time that I actually saw like the distinction. So essentially moving to Florida from where I was a culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
For me too.
I had never experienced half of the things that I experienced. Like, I went to a school. There were gifted classes in the school. I was in the gifted class in the school. Everybody in my class looked like you. Like me, like everybody else. To come to here and like go against blatant racism was a shock. Like, I moved here in 7th grade, middle of 7th grade, so I missed half of 7th grade. Moved here, and you go into these classes, and the gifted classes have maybe me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody around me is not my color. They don't relate to me. We can't have the same type of conversations. So I didn't see a distinction in a Puerto Rican, a Hispanic, whatever person saying nigga till I got here, where you talk to them and they're like, oh, I'm not black. I'm this. I'm that. And I'm like, but you're still black. Like, just because we don't speak the same language doesn't mean like we don't stem from the same place. So I think it's a lot about where you're from, where that distinction comes. Because I didn't deal with that. Like you said, I didn't deal with that till I moved here.
Martin. Sorry, I don't know why I said Marty. It's terrible.
Yeah, sure.
He's like, who's that? Wait, is that you?
What does the perfect woman for you look like?
Me, it's crazy. It's a good question. But perfect woman to me is influential. She is empowering.
So Michelle Obama.
She does embody those things. She's caring, she's understanding, she's very nurturing. She's maternal, so that means she knows her role, not in like I'm like a male dominant or no, but just understanding what role you play to the family. Because I'm a true believer in legacy. So if I die tomorrow, you can carry on my legacy. So that's what she makes sense to me.
Patrick, you made a decision, a choice to get on one knee and ask a woman who you share so much time with for their hand in marriage. What is it that you want to learn the most from now until your wedding day to prepare you for a marriage?
I can definitely answer that. I want to learn, because I know a lot right now, and it's because we've been going to counseling and I've also had a mentor, but from now until that day, I want to learn everything more I could be than what I'm already right now. I feel like I'm doing an okay job or a decent job right now. I want to know what more can I be? Where can I escalate? What higher career can I get in? What can I develop in? I'm good with kids now. How much better can I be with kids? How much of a better person I can be? How much of a better possible dad I can be? How much of a better husband I could possibly be? I want to know what's higher than what I already am right now. Teach me, show me, point me out all the flaws.
That's cool.
Corey, has experience impacted your belief in God?
Man, I can honestly say that I have gone through different phases in my faith with God due to different circumstances, like really bad breakups, to the fact that everything's going wrong. I've lost my job, but it seems like when things are at their worst is when I'm more acceptable to listen. So I've come to, when I see everything going wrong, I've come to be like, okay, what am I, to turn and say, God, what am I doing wrong? Am I missing something? What's going on? Because I lost my job, a whole year. Me and Tay was going through the same thing around about the same time, putting in 100 applications. Sorry, we're going with another candidate. And, you know, in that I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm burning through my savings. I'm watching it go down. And I'm just like, but it was like in that I heard God more clearly, you know, in that doors begin to open up as I begin to trust more in Him. So yeah, it definitely pulls my relationship with God stronger when I go through those type of incidents.
Tremonte.
I'm sick.
Is redemption possible for the hood nigga?
Yes, it is. I think redemption is possible. I will say this, I do think a lot of dudes are lying when they say they come from the hood, they come from the bottom. I think a lot of them are lying. I think it's a difference when you come from there and you are hanging out there. That's not the same thing. There's some niggas over there you want to go hang and be cool. But redemption is possible, man, because I know you see people like me, Joe, Martin, Corey, Patrick, Sharon, people come from the hood, but there's so many people who don't make it. There's so many people that I've seen succumb to drugs, 5 baby mamas, jail, prison, or death. It looks like a very small percentage of us who make it out and still keep like our faculties intact. They still strive to do more. Because true enough, some people do make it out, but I'm not down. I'm not being condescending or talking down on anybody's job or anybody do. But they'll make it out, but they'll work it like save a lot for the rest of their life. But they out though. You rarely see somebody come out and still have ambition, because our ambition was, you know, halted when we were teenagers. So to see people like us come out, graduate, and strive to be more like, I'm gonna do my PhD. But not just for me, for people who growing up and they look like me, so they can see like, man, he come from where I come from. Cause I always, you know, I want to teach. So I can teach in front of a black dude and he can be like, man, you don't know how hard it is. Yeah, I do. You don't know how hard it is. You coming up in the era of technology, they come up with this shit.
Right.
So it is redemption for people like us, man. Not just me, all of us are examples of that. I do believe that.
Last 3 questions. Do black people value cash in hand or credit? What do you value more? So 2 questions. Do black people as a general consensus, and then you?
I don't know too many black people that value credit. We don't know anything about credit. We're not taught about it. We just want what's immediately and readily available to us. I don't want that. I want something that carries over the years, generations, and on and so forth. So,
Just like the Jews.
just to answer the question directly, no, I don't think value credit. That's more educated.
Adrian, you own your own business. Everything depends on what you do. What do you have for your kids in the event to pass on to them for that business? If you step down tomorrow, did your kids run when they got older? Would you put them in a position to run your business?
Yes, but I want it to be to where they're sitting back chilling. They just the owners. You know what I mean? There'll still be a CEO. Everything will run to them, but because I mean, there's not many men in our field. Now, if they decided that they wanted to be like an esthetician or something like that, then I would show them the ropes and show them how to do it. They start to step in and be hands on. But I also want it to be to the point if they don't want to step into that field, they just got this is just sitting back there. They can still go and do whatever their dream is. You know what I mean? But they still got this business on the side too. But they don't want to do it.
You got boys in your
I got 2 boys.
Two boys. Okay, I don't think that's like it's the
Yeah,
first generation.
2.
Lavia,
Yes.
what is something that what is something that spectators do not understand about parents of kids with special needs?
That I don't need your unsolicited advice on how to raise my child.
Preach on it, please.
I don't need your unsolicited advice on how to discipline my child, or educate my child. We get that all the time. The biggest one is the grocery store. And I'm guilty of this myself before we had Caleb. You hear a kid in the store and they're screaming. Or you see a kid and they're flailing their arms or whatever. First thing you think, I think particularly from our culture, and I've had it happen to me. Mom came up to me and said, "Oh, if that was my son, I'd beat his ass." I was like, "Ooh, let me bring the Christian out of me." I said, "Well, this isn't your son, and I didn't ask for your opinion." And it was an older black lady, and she kind of looked back at me, and I said, "You can keep going, I didn't ask for your opinion." But the first thing is automatically we think, "Oh, this kid is misbehaving, or this kid is acting out, or whatever the case might be," not understanding that my kid is autistic, and that everything in the store is sensory overload.
Yeah.
The PA system, the cash register, the sound of the carts, the lights, everything, the colors, everything, to him is times 1,000. So you just visually seeing this, because autism is not a visual disability, you think, "Oh, this kid is just being bad, right? This kid is just acting out." Actually, no, he's autistic, and I need you to get out of my face so I can calm him down. Actually. The same thing with education and all these other things, and I think that people, again, going back to what I said earlier, if it's not close to home to you, you don't think that. Now, when I go into the grocery store and I see a little kid, and I can tell right away, I'm like, "Oh, they're autistic," or "Oh, they have this," or whatever, they have Asperger's, because now that's something I deal with on a daily basis, and I can speak to it, and I'm empathetic to it. So for me, I always say, as opposed to judging someone's parenting, be empathetic to their parenting. I've had it on the opposite spectrum. Going down the escalator in JFK, and my son had a fit, and I was by myself, and he threw himself back, and there just happened to be another mom behind me, and she scooped him up, and she said, "I have one too. We got this together." And I was like, "Okay." And we just figured it out. So I've had it on both sides. But I think that empathy is probably the biggest thing I would say from any parent's perspective, and not assuming that you know what is going on with this particular child in any given situation.
Joe,
Last question here.
why don't black people value life insurance? If somebody in their family died, they gotta do fish fries and GoFundMe's. Black people?
100% because of this feeling that I need those sneakers more than I need to invest. I need all of these things that aren't needs at all, they're just wants. I don't need my family to be set up right. That's not a thought I have. But I need this it's late, it's 3 in the morning, I need to go to Salem's, I need to get this little gyro, this little 4-piece, I need to get that. I need to pay this extra money for this cable every month, because I don't know where I go without my love and hip hop. You know, I need to watch my Real Housewives. I need to invest in this gym membership every month, even though I can do it at home. I need all of these things. I need to pay this extra money for this potluck at my job. You don't take pennies and save them. You don't take dollars and save them. You take every dollar that you have and you put it on some BS want and you call it a need and you put it in front of you. You never think about what happens when you're no longer here. Ever. Ever. You judge everything about what's present and you never think about what happens when you're not here. If I die tomorrow, I have an 11-year-old son that has to be taken care of for the rest of his life.
One time for your mind, two times for the grind. Watch out.